Hello everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever the case may be all over the world, down there and here and up there and over there and around there and all that kind of jazz. So shazizz, I'm out here in my mad science laboratory. I had this crazy dream last night, most disturbing dream that I ever had in my life. I was standing there talking to somebody in this dream, and I looked up in the sky and I seen these strange vehicles flying by, and they kind of looked like them old box kites, kind of offset angle or something like that. It was just really wild, and I pointed it out to the friend I was sitting there talking to, and about time he looks up there to check them out, they started spraying something. And I noticed everybody around me started donning gas masks. Now I've got a rag over my face, and it's just like, it was just one of the most bizarre dreams that I've ever had, so realistic. It was like a vision from the future or something. But these, I'm sure they were unmanned drones or whatever, and they were flying by, and they just literally started fogging up the area with God knows what. But it just kind of set in whenever I was thinking about that earlier. So what kind of evil would do something like that, Could there be that much evil in the world? Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. It's neither here nor there, but I put a link in the chat room of a old design that I made a long time ago. I'll throw it back up in there again. This link right here takes you to a picture that I put up there on my podcast page or my about page, one of the pages out there. I got so many pages. Anyway, when I first started working in alternative energy, I started tinkering around with the design that I had when I was driving down the road one day, and I started thinking about how the Briggs and Stratton engine worked, and how it actually had a magnetron on there that ignited the fuel. And so the design just kept on coming to me in my head, and I kept on drawing it up and looking at it, and thinking about building an engine, an electric pulse engine that would actually work every time that one of those magnetrons fired, would pulse a coil. He had a friend of mine that come by, and he's also in alternative energy, and he started talking to me about Tesla technology and all that kind of stuff. And of course, I had looked up some Tesla technology prior to it, but I never really delved very deep into it because I was on an alternative mission as far as free energy goes. Anyway, I had a prototype made up of this a long time ago, and that was one of the first machines that I did before I did the mini generator that I worked with using fish tank air pumps, trying to see how much voltage I could actually get out of this thing. And of course, it was a high voltage. They're about 2,000 volts a piece whenever that sparks across there. And I had approximately 4 of these things around a flywheel that would pulse them 4 times per cycle. I got a lot of really cool results out of it. Anyway, I'm bringing this up because I'm fixing on revisiting that particular design, but I'm going to do it in a different way this time around. This time I'm actually going to go to a machine shop that actually has the capabilities of plasma cutting to make this thing the most precise as possible. And so hopefully I'll get this newest prototype together using all new parts straight off the shelf, with exception of the actual flywheel and the mount for the magnetrons that will have to be laser cut, because I want this to be really super precise, and I want it to have precision bearings so that it functions to its full potential. And what I'm hoping to do with this particular design is basically charge up multiple capacitor banks at the same exact time. So with that said, keep an eye on my YouTube channel, and I hope to get that on there as soon as possible. I'm also working on several other projects that I hope to share with everybody. And for all the people who subscribe to my YouTube channel out there, I have to give you my thanks, because it's a really honor. I just hit over 2,000 subscribers. You know, that's pretty cool. You know, 2,000 people want to hear something that some old crazy mad science guy has to say. But hopefully I'm benefiting folks. Hopefully I'm showing you all kinds of alternative energy methods that you can actually try yourself, and you know, make you some power when you need it, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a real honor. It's an honor to be here on MSI Radio and Awake Radio and all the different networks that are rebroadcasting. It's well appreciated. So with that said, I'm going to keep on working hard out here in my mad science laboratory, and keep the ideas flowing and all that kind of stuff. I have seen a few other individuals out there doing similar work. Some of the folks out there are actually catching up to my work. I've seen a few videos that been talked about a long time ago, and did a few videos on it. Got some people out there in the alternative energy that are duplicating it, and that's a great thing, because you know, now the message is getting out there. So the world is energy. You are energy, pure energy. And so with that said, if you can't find free electricity, you're simply not looking for it. You're not looking hard enough. The technologies have been out there so far back that it's just beyond comprehension. You know, the first plasma reactor, the mercury arc rectifier, it's there. You know, people talk about conspiracies and suppression of technology. If you don't think it occurs, better think again. There's folks out there that just don't want you to know that there's a cheaper way to do what it is that they're selling you, you know. It's like, you know, if you got a car that'll go 200 miles on a gallon of gas, then they can't sell very much fuel. If you got a car that will run on water, then they can't sell very much fuel. And so common sense dictates all the corporations and companies out there who have this knowledge, that already know it does exist, don't necessarily want you to know about it, because it will hit their bottom line, basically empty their wallet out a bit. That's fact. That's not science fiction. Now the dream that I had, that's not necessarily science fiction either. You know, I've seen a lot of newer UFO videos that have been coming out here recently, and it turns out that these UFOs turned out to be drones with cameras in them, where they could fly over the city and they could essentially spy on people, you know. In this dream, it was like really disturbing, you know, as realistic as the dream was, and I could get a really good view of these two drones that were flying over. At first, they just, you know, looked like UFOs, but then after basically carefully looking at them even better, and then seeing them start to spray some sort of chemical out the back of them, and people running around and putting gas masks on, it gave me a vision of the future. What's the future like when the people of the world have to be in fear of somebody behind the scenes basically wanting to, if you don't do what you're told, you get poisoned or whatever? You know, what kind of sick individuals would even think of that, you know? And the feeling that I got while I was in that dream was, gotta be truthful, was a little fearful. Because here you are at the mercy of whatever the hell that is, and whoever the hell's behind the scene. You really can't do much. Without prior knowledge, suddenly you could be there having an enjoyable day, and then be under attack in the next instant and not even see it coming, not have no time to prepare. It's pretty disturbing. Don't know why I had that dream, but if I ever see those things flying in real life, I'm gonna hit the brakes. Run the opposite direction, downstream, wherever the wind, towards the wind, whichever the wind's blowing in one direction, I'm going. But hopefully that never occurs. But it just kind of made me think that there's a lot of things in this world that go on that people aren't prepared for. And the alternative energy, the free energy resources available out there to you, the alternative gardening methods and medicines and stuff like that, those are worth looking into, because you never know. You just freaking never know what kind of stupidity people of the world's going to do. You know, I watched a video the other day where people were just standing there and suddenly all these planes start flying over and the parachutes start coming down and we were being invaded by a foreign nation. I can imagine the feeling of anybody in any country looking up and seeing invaders coming down. The feeling of war, you know. The fear of how to protect your family, you know, you're under attack. But we've lived our lives the best we can with the tools that we've got to work with. We've studied the things that we need to study in order to get through the system and survive life itself. And to have these worries on our back, you know, it's a stressful thing. You know, I'm always saying, and I don't understand why the rest of the people of the world, I know the average Joe gets it, but I don't understand why the elite or the bankers or whoever the evil bastards are behind the scenes starting up the wars and trying to make millions of dollars with the industrial military complex and all the ways that they do things, you know, the evils that they would actually do, you know. If there is some sort of repercussion for the things that you do in life, you know, if there is a possibility of heaven or hell, these folks ain't doing so well as far as putting up brownie points or good marks on a chalkboard for themselves. They're destroying humanity. They're destroying the planet. They're destroying the future of mankind. They're allowing people to starve and die from sickness, wars, and ignorance. The so-called energy crisis that exists in the world is just a fantasy. It's a farce. There is no energy crisis. The hardest part about the whole thing is to try to figure out how to use the existing technologies that we have available in order to benefit all of humanity and give people free electricity. Building new designs is an easy part. If you have the resources, there's many brilliant minds out there. And me and Cultus and a few other folks are putting together a deal for a virtual lab so that you can actually physically see experiments in the works as they unfold. And we're going to bring brilliant minds from all over the world to basically share in their ideas and help troubleshoot problems. There's so many different alternative energy devices out there. They're all, to me, just pieces of a puzzle. You know, starting off from scratch using the technologies that we have available is a lot easier than trying to sort through everything and figure out alternative uses for things that already exist. You know, in a perfect world, the people, the elite at the top and the corporations would give a damn about society and humanity instead of their wallet. And they would share the technologies available, all the known secrets of energy and so on and so forth. I believe there is a cure for cancer. I believe there's a cure for every disease known to man. I believe that there are free energy devices in the hands of the government and governments of the world. And I also believe that they suppress them deliberately in order to make money. You know, proof of that goes right to the U.S. Patent Office. You know, you go up there and if you say anything about perpetual motion, you don't get a patent. If you say anything about a free energy device, you don't get a patent. If you say anything about you got a carburetor or a water fuel deal, you might get a patent. But the corporations will buy it up, suppress it, and if you don't want to sell, they got their ways around that as well. It's kind of disturbing when you think about it. I played that little clip at the very front there, you know. I just, maybe I'm a dreamer, you know. Maybe I see the world the way it could be, the way it should be. And I get frustrated when I see all the death and destruction and the lies and the propaganda and the craziness. You know, if one crazy old dude such as myself can put together a mad science laboratory and build things out of junk that actually function, imagine what you could do with the access to a perfect machine shop and all the resources and materials that the elite have, that they use in the military industrial complex and essentially waste on a daily basis. Millions and billions and possibly even trillions of dollars go into destruction. Goes into wars and fighting over land and resource. It's my belief that our Creator gave all these resources to each and every one of us. It's my belief that each and every one of us have a talent and a gift. You know, there's a saying out there called, united we stand and divided we fall. You think about that for a bit. United together, we can stand up against the largest beast and persevere. But separated, we'll fall one by one, individually, sometimes on the masses. If we used all of our talents and all of our resources together, like Cultus and I are talking about putting together the virtual lab, he's the one that essentially come up with the idea to begin with. I threw my 2 cents worth in there, and we actually got the ball rolling. We need to keep that ball rolling. And when we get the website up and all the coding done and everything, and we get that thing functioning, so that future scientists and inventors can actually come together and share this technology with one another, not for profit, not for financial gain or fame or fortune, any of that jazz, but for the betterment of humanity. If somebody's trying to sell you a free energy device, turn around and walk away. Because you get out on places like YouTube, and there's folks out there doing research. They're asking you questions as much as you're asking them questions. And the information's there. The technology is available. You got wind, solar, hydro, thermal, earth batteries, radiant energy. There's so many different ones out there, you know. We could talk about the Bedini motor, the Stirling engine. It just goes on and on. There's a massive list. So, with all that said, this virtual lab thing, in my view, is a really good step forward. It's a really good step towards bringing us together as humans. No matter what your race, your religion, your color, your background, your beliefs, or anything like that. We're all flying through space on this beautiful rock that we call Earth. It's a thermoelectric generator of epic proportions, a self-contained biosphere that has the capability of rejuvenating itself and basically taking care of all it is. Now, we could assist that process and take care of the planet and one another. We could literally create a heaven on earth, a utopia, so to speak. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. And it's not all about, no, we don't, and we can't. It's at this point, it's just that most folks won't. I've made a promise to the world. I will give to the world free energy before I pass away. And I'm on it. 24/7, my mind is on it. Because not only I know that it's possible, but I believe in the dream. I believe that we as individuals and we as humans together, united, all over the world, not under one common umbrella such as a one world government or a system of any sort. Like-minded individuals just coming together and doing the right thing for humanity, for our children and our children's children's future. Now, I've said this before, and I think it's worth repeating. We are the founding mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles of our children and our children's children's future. And what we do today will define the world that they live in tomorrow. Will we define a world for them that allows individuals to be in power, that have access to drones, that have the capability of flying over entire neighborhoods and poisoning them to death or putting them to sleep so that they can round them up or whatever the case may be? I know that it sounds Orwellian. It's some sort of science fiction movie come to life kind of thing. But seriously, take a look at what we've already got that we know exists. Take a look at the drone that fly over and basically remotely can bomb a neighborhood or an individual. It's in the power of our supposed elected representatives. Somebody, besides we the people, has control of that technology. So, if it's used inappropriately, then people die. Anyway, I'm gonna take a quick breather and throw on a song and check out a few things, and I'll get back with you. But I hope something I said, hope it helps you out. Hope it gives you something to think about. Don't live your life in fear, because you're more powerful than that. Don't live your life afraid of what could be. Live your life to the best of your ability. Live life in love is what I always say. It's just you don't want to spend what would be a short lifespan for the average human being depressed and being scared that something's going to go on. Just use your common sense and your wisdom and keep your eyes and ears wide open and watch for the things that come down the road that could harm you or your family. And together, united, we the people of the world will protect one another to our best abilities. You know, it's kind of hard. The system's set up for us to fail. But in the long run, we allowed them to do what they're doing today, and it's going to be up to us to make them stop it before tomorrow. So with that said, I'm going to play a quick tune or two, and I'll be back with you. Peace and love, everybody. Hello, everybody. It's old Shazizz here, out here in my mad science laboratory. Hope you all doing well. So, we were talking about all kinds of crazy stuff right before I took my break right there, but I believe in possibilities. The possibilities are endless as far as I'm concerned with all the resources that we have available to us today. In my view, we're living in the golden age, you know. We're not quite into the future, but we're not way back in the past. We have a wide variety of research going on. We have all these different mountains to climb and things to find out and discover, and it's just it's a never-ending journey. To me, the best part about life is the discovery of things, you know, finding out the mysteries. You know, there's all of the 7 wonders of the world and the mysteries of the universe and that kind of stuff. Finding out where we came from and who we are and where we're going and all that kind of stuff. The quest that we all take. The mainstream scientists these days, they either just don't get it or they just don't care. You know, the things that they proclaim to be truth, I don't know, it's just, to me, it's sickening. We have the possibilities to do so much, and we can do it with the resources that we have available. You know, doomsday could be around the corner. Sure, you know, we could get blasted by a meteor, we could have some sort of terrible calamity of epic proportions, and the world get wiped off the map. But in the meantime, while we are still here doing what it is that we do, there's individuals out there who strive to make people's lives better, you know, with new inventions and new innovations, technologies. Sometimes it's just reviving things from the past. Some of the best things that we overlook, you know, how to cool your food down without no electricity, how to preserve your food without no refrigerator, things like that, ways to survive off of nature, knowing what's in your local environment that you can eat in worst case scenario. These are things that people should learn, you know. Knowledge that should be acquired while things are good. We have so much that we could be doing right now. I'm saying, don't stress over some sort of doomsday scenario, but don't close your eyes to the possibility either. So energy preparedness, food preparedness, medical preparedness, just being prepared for any such emergency. It's kind of like the best insurance policy you can get for your family and you. And worst case scenario, you grow a whole bunch of food out in the garden, then you got some food to share with folks. There's people out there that are struggling. You grow a whole bunch of tomatoes in your garden, and you can only eat a few before they all go bad, then you go around and you find those individuals who like tomatoes and need some. It's amazing in one little family garden how much food that you can actually grow. It's amazing how nature provides for just about everything under the sun. When you step back and look at the big picture, there really are no worries outside of the supposed elected officials in this world. You know, they're trying to get us all up into another war. They're trying to get us all up into another conflict with another nation. I don't know anyone out there who asked our elected officials to go before our senates and our congresses and our committees and our, you know, our nations or whatever. I don't know any single individual who has asked the representations, the representatives that we have elected, some unelected, some just appointed. But I really don't know one single individual who has asked for our representatives to go out before the world and create death and destruction. I don't know anybody who wants wars. I don't know anybody who wants to send unmanned airplanes and manned airplanes over and bomb the crap out of some sovereign nation. So what is it that they're doing to represent us, we the people? In my view, they're not representing us. They're representing corporations and the industrial military complexes of the world. Little guys like you and I sitting out here and trying to make a difference. Trying to raise our voice up higher than the mountain so that all can hear. Hey, you know, there is hope beyond that ridge. A lot of individuals will sit back and they'll watch the TV, the mainstream media, and they'll see all the death and the destruction and the lies, and the terrorists are supposedly behind every tree and they're under every bush. Don't lift that rock because it could be a terrorist under there. They have figured out pretty much how to play each and every individual out there like a banjo, you know. They're playing doodling banjos with our lives. To me, it's not only ludicrous, but it's crazy that we would allow them to do so. I have enough love in my heart to span the entire globe and the universe and beyond. I believe my wife feels the same. She does a show on hope, you know. She's coming up right after my show. She's always got a good message, and I know that her message touches a lot of people's hearts. I've got a family member who's all off in the jailhouse, up in the pokey, in the slammer, the clink, the hooskow. He's got himself in a bit of a jam, trying to work his way out, trying to get his life back together. And hopefully he'll do that. But in the meantime, her words of wisdom and love and hope have basically not only affected him, but his cellmates as well. They look forward to reading their show notes and getting a little bit of uplifting words. So I hope that those out there listening in on all the different networks where we broadcast and rebroadcast and all that, I hope that you listen in on her show and show her a little bit of love, you know. Send her a smiley face when you see her come on. She's a really wonderful lady, trust me, I know. Been around a long time. But anyway, in the alternative energy front, the war rages on to unsuppressed technologies. If you can't find free energy, you're simply not looking hard enough for it. I tried to get a few individuals on this show who were, you know, working on alternative energy. But seems like they were in it for something else besides the purpose that I myself and a few others are in it for. You know, they don't mind doing videos on things that I already pointed out. But heck, Come on the show. Talk about some of your ideas and some of your inventions. Share this information with the world. You know, I'm not in this for fame and fortune and notoriety. I'm in it because I believe I've been given a gift, and I want to share that gift with the world. I want to try to at least put my positive influence out there, my positive pebble, and try to make life better for some other individual. I believe that's what we're here for. I believe that we are the caretakers of the world and one another. All the land and the animals and the trees. I believe that every action that we do defines somebody else's life's comfort, or whatever you want to say. The power of the spoken word, the power of the pen, the power of your actions. Don't even think for one brief second that you yourself are worthless. That is so far from the truth, it's just unbelievable. You are capable of so much. Maybe you're not the best mechanic, maybe you're not the best musician, maybe you're not the best singer, you might be the best cook, you might be the best doctor or the best nurse. You might be just the best friend. It'll make the difference in somebody else's life. You know, mad science is just that. It's mad. It's mad science. Mad because of all the different things that we could accomplish that we're not accomplishing because of suppression of technologies, because of stupidity, anger, frustration, greed, or whatever it is that holds us back from climbing over that wall and getting out of that box. To reach humanity's full potential means to study what's going on around you, to know how things work. Now, I've heard folks say that, you know, I just ain't no good at that. I just ain't no good at this, or whatever. That's not the case. You know, ignorance doesn't mean you're stupid. It means you just don't know about something. It means you do a little research and you're not ignorant in that subject anymore. Everyone has the capabilities of doing amazing things. And so mad science to me is about basically bringing people up out of the box. Showing a little bit of frustration against the laws of physics and the laws of man, who basically try to override the laws of nature that just will not allow man to reach his full potential. The men and women of this world are amazing creatures, amazing beings, amazing beyond their wildest imagination. You haven't even scratched the surface of what you can accomplish. One man can lay on his back for years and paint the Sistine Chapel, the most beautiful painting in the most beautiful buildings. One man can create a sculpture of epic proportions. One woman could sing a song more beautiful than you can possibly dream. The men and women of this world are capable of so much. Imagine what one can do by themselves. Just imagine what we could do together. So mad science to me is about opening that box. It's about getting everybody out of that box. It's about teaching people about science and experiments and life and love and things that are real, where they can think outside the box, step back and look at the big picture and make our world a better place, one positive pebble at a time. That sounds like a tall order, but I'm telling you folks, there's not a damn thing that we can't accomplish. Nothing. You want to go into space, you want to travel through time, you want to alter the dimensions to change your universe, you want to create a reality for yourself, then do it. Just do it. It's that simple. Create your reality, create your world, and make the world a better place for you and all those around you. Use your talents, your gifts. Use the most powerful tool that you have in your arsenal, which is the love that's in your heart. And there is not a damn thing that you can't overcome. Together we can bring mountains to dirt. We can build mountains. You look at countries all over the world, and you look at cities and things that they've overcome. Places where there's so much water, they build their houses to float. Places where there's so much sand that they basically figure out a way to build skyscrapers on sand. Build islands out of sand. If they don't have water, they figure out a way to put water there. In third world countries where they're not, they don't have the access to all the fancy high-tech stuff that we have. They don't have access to the luxuries. These individuals create whatever it is that they need to survive and make their life a bit more comfortable. So science to me is about learning about things so that I can teach others to do for themselves and others. And you can do the same. I looked at my YouTube numbers this morning. It's 2001, I think. That's cool. It's humbling. 2001 people out there in the world, for whatever reason, want to hear something I got to say. Want to see what I'm working on. Here at MSI Radio, it's hard to count the numbers of people that's actually listening via encoders all over the world, via rebroadcast, via podcast. But to know that you can throw a positive pebble in the pond that'll send ripples out there and give good information to individuals is why I believe that all the hosts are here at TNS Radio. MSI Radio, excuse me. Its old habits are hard to break. That was our home. But there's a lot of good individuals behind the scene. There's a lot of good individuals in the chat room. There's a lot of good individuals in social networks on Awake Radio, Orion Network, We Roar Radio, and it just goes on and on. People of the world are coming together for a common cause, such as building the world to be a better place for our children and our children's children's future. And if you think you're not doing this for the children, remember what I said. We are the founding mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, cousins of our children and our children's future. What we do today will define the future that they live in tomorrow. The dream that I told you about earlier in there, I don't want to see us in a world to where we have to live in fear of some sort of drone flying overhead and poisoning us if we disagree with our government. I want to see us living in a world of comfort where everyone is done for. Everyone has food and they have clothing and shelter. As long as there's a baby somewhere in the world crying because he's hungry or she's hungry or they're cold, as long as there's a baby somewhere in this world who is sick and needs attention, we the people of this generation, of this time and space, have the obligation to try to use all of our knowledge in conjunction with one another to try to solve these problems. That's what MSI Radio is seeking solutions. We are seeking solutions to problems that we know exist in the world, and we are enacting those solutions. Researchers, there are so many researchers that are out there right now going in behind the scenes and doing things and looking and bringing information forward. Simply Steve, my friend out there, awesome guy. I'm telling you what, a vast wealth of knowledge. We got Cultus out there, another researcher. You should go to check out Cultus's channel. Muddy Mud Man. And it just goes on and on. We got uplifting shows, Live Mike and Beverly. They have uplifting shows, and there's also have informative information. And there's other individuals here at MSI that they try to point out the things that people overlook in law and just how to get through the world. Alternative medicine, alternative food. People just researching after research after research after research, bringing it here to share with you and the world. So if you have access to Facebook or YouTube or any of the other social networks out there where you can tell your friends, if you like what it is that we're doing here, and if you like what's going on Awake Radio and We Roar Radio and We Roar TV and so on down the line, then tell your friends. Tell your friends to tell their friends that there is a movement out there that is trying to bring we the people together, not under an umbrella of a one world government, but a united people for a common cause of making the world a better place for each and every individual. Doing what we do best, and that's using our talents. Using our gifts, our skills, our resources to literally bring about a heaven on earth, a utopia, so to speak. I know it sounds crazy because you've been told all your life that these things are not possible. In military industrial complexes of the world, they need you. They need your soldiers. They need your children to go to war. They need you to give them money so that they can fund all the lies and propaganda. They need you to give them the funds to buy the machines and the guns and the bullets and the bombs and the ammunition. They need you to sacrifice your children to some war in the world so that they can get their money, their gold, their silver. They need we the people. We do not need them. We have never, ever needed them. We don't need them to go over and bomb some country into the Stone Age. We need individuals to go over and give them folks a hand up. To give them some food and some medicine and some love. You know, they say we're going to run out of oil. It's a farce. They say we're going to run out of water. It's another farce. They say that our planet is heating up due to climate change / global warming caused by CO2. Lies. Lies and propaganda used to scare each and every individual out there into believing something, into following an agenda or whatever. There's individuals out there that, I don't know if you've ever seen the show Whale Wars. Paul Watson out there, Captain Paul Watson. They're out there and they got a real cause. They have a real just cause to try to save the whales. And they put their lives on the line. They put their fortunes on the line. They do that. They sacrifice whatever they have for the future of humanity to save these whales. So if you're out there to save the animals, that's a wonderful thing. You got to give credit where credit's due. These folks out there are doing whatever it takes. They're standing up to the man for a cause that they know is right. And it's going to take all of us to stand up for what's right. It's going to take all of us to speak out, to use the power of the pen, the power of the spoken word. Violence is a very, 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 very last resort. Nobody wants violence. We're looking for enlightenment. We're looking for humanity to go to a better place besides the war machine. We can put our disagreements aside. We can show love for one another to the people of the world. Share our resources. And literally bring about heaven on earth, a utopia, so to speak. I keep repeating that, and I know it drives people nuts. But I don't spend all this time out in my mad science laboratory just to be blowing stuff up and having a good old time and trying to become famous and rich. If I wanted to be rich, I know how to be rich. If I wanted to be one of the most wealthy elite in the world, I could do this. And literally overnight. But money, fame, and fortune cannot and never has been able to buy love. Money, fame, and fortune can't go out there and fix the problems of the world. It takes us, we the people. If you don't got a penny in your pocket, then that doesn't mean that you can't contribute. You could put a smiley face in the chat room. You could put a smiley face on your face and walk around town. There's so many ways by which you can benefit one another out there. Your knowledge of how to garden, share it with a brother and sister around the world. Share the fruits of your labor, your food, with those out there in need. Mad science is about a whole lot more than just science. It's about knowing our potential and seeing it go to waste. It's about knowing what mankind is capable of doing and seeing it go to waste. It's about knowing the power of love, the power of the spoken word, the power of the pen. The power of you as an individual going to waste. Now I don't give a damn if you got big ears, a big nose, and you look uglier than a mud fence to some folks. I don't care if you're 2 foot wide, 3 foot wide, 70 feet wide, 10 foot tall, or 2 feet short, or whatever. Doesn't matter what you look like, what you think, or it don't matter what your religious beliefs are, your color, your background. Each and every individual out there, in my eyes and my heart, are more important than you can possibly imagine. Every time we lose a single soul to stupidity, we lose a part of us. We lose the next great doctor, the next great musician, the next great scientist, next great inventor. And if we lose the children of the future, we lose our soul. If we say and do nothing now, in my eyes, in my heart, we are to blame for the future of humanity. We have the capabilities of doing so much. So much. We have the capabilities of being the creators that we were designed to be. And so mad science to me is about waking individuals up to their true potential. I hope that something I've said, one of my videos that I've done, has benefited you in some way positive. When you look at my Mad Science YouTube channel, you're going to see crazy stuff. You're going to see a lot of amazing things. Keep in mind, there's some really good information stashed up in there. Clues in all them videos. I'm getting ready to revisit some old technology. So I'll send this link back in there. Let you take a look at that picture. And when I get that put together and in that video, I think you're going to be satisfied. So I'm pretty much coming down to the wire of the Shazizz Mad Science. I hope that those of you Knights of the Round Table, hope you show up on the show tomorrow. We're starting 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Time, and I'm not sure what that goes towards everybody else's time. We need to get a clock or something that we can type in, and it'll show all the time differences. The podcast for this show and Beverly's Hope Show will be up right shortly after we do our shows. So you can always go back and revisit, hear some of the madness. I'm looking forward to the Knights of the Round Table. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Just by showing up in the chat room, you become an honorary knight. Just by calling in, you become one of the honorary Knights of the Round Table, one of the Knights of the Round Table. It's about bringing our ideas and brilliant minds together. It's your table. It's your platform. Old King Shazizz the Terrible is just the man that wants to do what several other men from MSI and back to TNS Radio and all the other men believe could be done. So, old King Shazizz the Terrible is simply carrying on the dream. Carrying on your dream, my dream, our dream. For we the people to live out a world that can be basically built into a heaven on earth. A utopia, so to speak. So, welcome one, welcome all. And thanks to everyone out there who made this show possible and all the other shows here on MSI Radio and Awake Radio. We Roar, Orion Network, and many, many more. Shazizz.com. There will be links out there. So if you're having trouble hearing the show, you could check other links. Because no matter what, even when we thought we were going down, we all came together and we brought it back up. So here we are broadcasting once again. And we will continue to do that. We'll continue to pave a path for those in the future, the way that they can keep the ball rolling. We'll continue to put the platform in front of those who are willing to use it. You know, Ven's a humble man in my book. He's also a hero in my book. He had a good idea. A lot of good individuals here. Bitch and Bob and Reverend Rashers, Michael, and everyone out there in the chat room, man. Good people. Damn good people. And it's an honor. It's a pleasure to do what it is that I do for you and with you. So with that said, I'm going to take a breather and start gathering up things, get ready for Beverly's Hope show. Play a couple tunes up out of here. Just try to remember what I said. Try to live life in love, man. Don't stress over the dumb stuff. 'Cause we, the people here of MSI Radio and Awake Radio, Orion Network, We Roar, and many, many, many more, and the people in the chat room, and all the hosts here, we have your back. Peace and love, everybody.